One way to measure well-being is to ask people, and we hope this will become a global standard in organizations, to ask people to imagine a ladder with steps from 0 at the bottom to 10 at the top, with 10 representing the best possible life and 0 representing the worst possible life. Which step are you at right now in your overall life? Everybody can answer that question, and there's a lot that gets packed into how they answer that question. There's a follow-up second part of that question that asks people to think about the next 5 years. Which step do you think you'll be on in the next 5 years? During this pandemic, we've seen that the drops have really occurred in that first part, how people think about their present life. The good news is most people have not rated their future life lower. In fact, people have, on average, rated their life a little bit better in the next 5 years, probably because it contrasts with what they're going through right now. So there's that kind of behavioral economics component to it as well. So that's one way to measure to measure well-being, and we call the combination of that two-part question Gallup Net Thriving. Net thriving is important because it links to so many different outcomes that organizations should be concerned with. It's additive to engagement in predicting performance. It's additive to engagement in understanding mental health, the mental health of your organization. If you don't have strong mental health, or if you have mental health bringing you down, that presents a significant risk to your organization and your organization's overall culture and its resiliency. And so it's really important from that perspective. It's also important to measure net thriving because we've got data going back decades where we have comparisons all over the world on the metric, and you might as well know where you're at on it and be objective about it and know whether you have to do some things to improve on it or not. You also want to know what it looks like across different teams, because you might have different teams in your organization that look very different on net thriving than other teams. So drilling down inside of an organization is really important, and knowing where you stand on that basic metric, and then knowing where to go next. It's important to know where do you need to diagnose next once you know the answer to that question. Net thriving is also something that organizations can significantly improve. Now, when you look at it at well-being at an individual level, we all have set points. Some people are just naturally predisposed to have higher well-being than others. But there's a lot of range around that set point that can be influenced. When we look at our data and we control for all the demographic differences in people, we find that there's a range of from 0 to 70 on that net thriving scale, which can go from 0 to 100, that is influenceable, that varies across individuals. And so a lot of it can be, some of it is based on is predisposed, but a lot of it is changeable. And there are practices organizations can put into place to influence it, much like they have with engagement over time.